we're going to rank every single map in XDefiant. Every single map. Every single map. All right. This is gonna take like maybe 5 minutes.
Liar!
Maybe 5. Really quick. Really quick. Number 1, arena. Teacher. Should I give my reasonings? Should I do all the rankings first and then go through and give my reasonings, or should I give my reasonings now? The first one? Okay, so let me just throw Atika, Dumbo. I like Dumbo. Echelon. Alright. Imperium. Limerick. Mayday. Noodleplex. Barbito. Chocolate. Maybe flip-flop these two. And then this. Alright, Meltdown. Midway. I swear. Zoo. Alright. The reason why I think this is like my tentative final list. The reason why Pablito is number 1. The flow is great. Mid-map is fun with the church. For Occupy, the rotations are fucking sick. They're fun. There's like one hill that's like absurd, like all the way in the back right of the map. It's like absurd. If you spawn there, you're set. But other than that, great map. Fun map, flows well, got good mix of AR fights and sub fights. It's a great map, great map. Noodleplex, I really like Noodleplex. One of the better maps in the game. The only reason that it's not S tier for me is because mid-map. Mid-map, I think there's too many angles. Like the mid-map is kind of like an X. Like mid-map is literally an X. Like there's a straight angle coming in from courtyard. There's an angle that way. There's an angle that way. Like mid-map is like hell on that map. Like Pablito, there's like 3. I mean, it's a little different though. It's a little different. I'm not a fan of the middle of the map on Noodleplex. When you get to like the hills, like for Occupy, when you get to the hills that are like on the side of the map, those hills are fun. But like the P1 is horrible. I'm not a fan of the middle of the map on Noodleplex, and it brings it down a little bit for me, personally. Now Zoo, I think it's just the best linear map, and that's why I have it in A tier. I think it's the best linear map. Like, linear maps are hard to rank, but in terms of like checkpoints, I feel like Zoo is the most fair linear map. In terms of checkpoints, like there's no like really huge choke. Like the second checkpoint is a little hard, but it's not like a huge choke. Like Midway, you can get fucking choked up on Midway and it's horrible. But like Zoo, I feel like is the best linear map. It's just got like, and it's a good looking map, you know, unique. Linear maps are a lot harder to rank than arena maps, because they're kind of very similar, but like very different. So Dumbo I think is a really fun map. I think the middle of the map is fun. I think the way like it's like a big square essentially, and you run around in a big square. I think it's a really fun way the map flows. I think there's a wide array of gunfights you can take. I think it's a really like, no one really talks about that map, but I think it's a good map. What up, Owen? I think Dumbo's a good map. Why is it B tier? There's like some weird like nuances to the map. Like the second story is kind of annoying to deal with. Like people getting up on the scaffolding on that, and just like that's kind of annoying to deal with when people get up on the scaffolding. Like fighting in the shop sometimes is really awkward. Like either side of the shops is like really awkward because it's super close quarters because you're going inside. So like there's just like a lot of awkward, nuanced fights on Dumbo that kind of bring it down a couple of notches. But for the most part, I think it's a really underrated map. Arena is fun, and it's super mixy, but I think it's the most brain dead map. It's obviously the most brain dead map in the game, and that's why, like, honestly, me personally, I think it's a C tier map. But like, if I'm being objective and unbiased, and like, it's probably B tier. It's one of the better maps in the game. Like, it's definitely better than a majority of the maps in the game. So that's why it's in B tier. It's mixy, it's fun, but like, you just run around, shoot shit. Nothing really makes sense on that map. It's just a big circle. It's a weird fucking map, to be honest with you. Midway, again, linear maps are hard to do, but Midway's some of the chokes are like super tight, but it is a fun map. Like, the first checkpoint is fun. The first checkpoint is fun, and the third checkpoint is really fun. The third checkpoint can be really hard to finish off too, by the way, because of how open that area is. It can be really hard to finish off. So, not the most balanced, but it's a fun map. And the second checkpoint we don't have to talk about. That shit is AIDS. Liberty. Liberty, I think, is just an ass map. And the reason I think it's an ass map is because, like, mid-map is horrible. It's just a clusterfuck. There's a bunch of random shit everywhere. There's, like, 2 god headies looking down on mid-map from either side of the spawn. And it's just, like, those two, like, control the middle of the map. Like, people can just camp there and control the middle of the map. Especially if you get top ship and you just camp there, control the middle. Like, people running in from off of spawns. Like, it's just... that shit's boring as fuck. And then, like, because the middle of the map is so big and wide, that means the left and right lanes of the map are super small and narrow, which just makes those horrible to fight on. And it doesn't flow well. So it's just a horrible map. It's not a good map. It's a dog shit map. Liberty sucks. Horrible map. Times Square. Times Square, I think, is a really, like, unique map, and it's a fun map to play, and, like, the design of it is awesome, but it's a horrible map. Like, the way it's laid out is there's, like, no cover. Like, the first checkpoint, you're coming out of your spawn, absolutely zero cover. There's, like, a god heady on top of a sign. Like, it's super defender sided. It's super busted. And then the third checkpoint is insane. Like, the only fun checkpoint on Times Square is the second checkpoint, because the third checkpoint sucks dick. The first checkpoint sucks dick. Like, they're super defender sided. Second checkpoint is the only fun checkpoint, and it's in, like, a subway station. So, like, it's just not a great, like, it's just not a well balanced map. Very defender sided. Atika, for the 1, 2, 3, 4. So, like I said half of the arena maps in the game are good, and then half of them aren't. Atika's a good map. It's just, like, not a good map. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of the same thing where Dumbo, where it has, like, potential to be good, but there's, like, so many, like, nuanced, weird things that are there that just make it, like so awkward to take fights sometimes, and it's just like, why does this even exist? This is horrible. Like, fucking, when you're playing Occupying, P1 is on mid statue, dude, people could sit in their spawn and just stare at you from their, like, the mid lane cuts all the way across, but it doesn't connect, so they could just stare at you through that gap and just beam you with ARs. It's horrible. And then, like, the buildings on either side of the map are, like, really awkward and weird. I think the best part of Atika is the bottom of the map, like the basement level. That's probably the most fun part of the map and the most interactive part of the map. And that's where the gunfights are actually fun. Like, that part of the map is great, but, like, the top of the map is horrible for the most part. It's potential to be a good map. It's just not a good map. I'd rather play it than some other maps, but all right. Meltdown wouldn't be bad if the first checkpoint wasn't god awful, and if the last checkpoint also wasn't god awful. It's kind of like Times Square. The first checkpoint is god awful, and then the last checkpoint, there's, like, no cover at all. when you get to that point. For zone control, it's not as bad, but there's still like no cover. Even for zone control, there's still like no cover. So like, it's just like Meltdown's defender sided again because how fucking open it is. It's fun to play. It is a fun map and a unique map, but like Times Square, it's just like not a well balanced map. You know what I mean? Mayday, like thinking about it, isn't horrible, but it's also horrible. Now, what I mean by that is like it's horrible because of how big it is, but if they downscaled it a little bit, it would actually not be a bad map. I feel like the way it's laid out, it's actually not bad, but it's like the most gigantic map in the game, so it's like horrible. It's like, I just think it's too big and there's too much open space, and if they if they closed it and brought it down in size a little bit, close some of that open space, like that map could actually be sick. That could be one of the best maps in the game if they did that. Now, Imperium has the problem of it's just like not fun. It's not fun, and it's not well designed, in my opinion. It doesn't have anything. It's got no spark. Imperium is just like bad. It's just bad overall. There's no redeeming factors of it. There's no redeeming qualities. Like everything about the map, I think it's just bad. To be honest. Like it's just like the whole map is it's just a bad map. And I feel the same way about Showtime. Huge, like a huge gap down the middle of the, like just that's your mid lane, and then you have buildings, which are 2 extra lanes, and then you have the side lanes, which are just straight hallways. Like it's just like open view, open view, open view, open view. Like it's horrible. It's a dog shit map. Showtime is horrible. Showtime is a horrible map. I don't care what the fuck people say. There's no way anyone's defending Showtime. That map is god awful. If anyone came in and was like, I like Showtime, I like, just leave. Honestly, bro, that map is horrible. That map, like, it's yeah. And then Echelon, which is just like the worst map in the entire game. Like anyone that likes Echelon, like has like, I don't want to say that. That's kind of fucked up. But like, you're a sicko. Like you're an actual psychopath if you like Echelon. The most like submachine gun sided map in the entire game. The flow is just horrible. The whole map is just horrible. There's no redeeming factors unless you're an SMG player like me, and like you could shit on people, and it's like, I like this map because I can shit on people on this map because it's an SMG. Like I'm an SMG player in an SMG's world. Like that's no excuse. There's no bias here. All right, there's no bias. We're not being biased. This is objective. That map is horrible. It's awful. So tentatively, I think that's my list. That's my opinion. That's what I believe to be the best and worst maps in the game. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. If you like the video, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell because you see all my videos because they're all amazing. I appreciate it. Bye.